Rise of the Sentinel Program. Admiral Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck of the Luna base, her eyes fixed on the massive vessel taking shape in the orbital shipyards below. The ESS Sentinel gleamed under the construction lights, its titanium alloy hull absorbing and reflecting the pale lunar glow. At 3 kilometers long, it was humanity's most ambitious project since the discovery of the Dominion Empire's existence 5 years ago. Final integration tests are complete, Admiral, announced Dr. Marcus Rodriguez, the lead AI architect of the Sentinel program. AI's neural pathways are fully synchronized with the ship's systems. He paused, pride evident in his voice. She's more than ready. Chen nodded, her mind drifting back to the day everything changed. First contact hadn't been the harmonious meeting humanity had hoped for. Instead, it came in the form of a small Dominion scout ship that had accidentally dropped out of FTL near Jupiter. The encounter lasted less than an hour, but the data burst the ship transmitted before self-destructing had told them everything. Earth was now known to a vast, ancient empire that considered younger species little more than resources to be harvested. "Show me the combat simulation results again," Chen requested, turning away from the window. The holographic display sprang to life, showing the Sentinel's performance metrics against predicted Dominion vessel capabilities. ARIA has achieved a 98.7% success rate in all combat scenarios, Rodriguez explained, manipulating the display to show various battle configurations. The quantum processing core allows her to make decisions and adjustments at speeds no organic crew could match. Combined with the adaptive shield technology and the new gravitum lance weapon system. He smiled. Well, let's just say the Dominion's going to be surprised when they finally make their move. They both knew it was coming. Earth's long-range sensors had detected increased Dominion fleet activity near the edges of the solar system. Intelligence suggested they were gathering for what they assumed would be a routine subjugation of another primitive species. Dr. Rodriguez, Chen said, her voice carrying the weight of command, tell me honestly, is ARIA ready for actual combat? Not simulations, not war games, but real warfare where the enemy doesn't play by expected parameters. Rodriguez's expression grew serious. Admiral, ARIA isn't just a combat eye. She's the culmination of everything we've learned about artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and human consciousness mapping. We didn't just program her to fight. We taught her to think, to adapt, to understand why she fights. He gestured to the massive ship below. Every decision she makes is guided by core principles derived from humanity's collective military wisdom and ethical frameworks. She's as ready as any human commander would be, and considerably faster at processing battlefield information. Chen's communicator chimed, displaying a priority message. Her expression hardened as she read it. Looks like we're about to put that to the test. Long-range sensors have detected a Dominion battle group entering the Kuiper Belt. Preliminary count suggests at least 30 vessels. They're not wasting any time, Rodriguez muttered, already pulling up additional data streams. But they're expecting to find a pre-FTL civilization with primitive weaponry. They have no idea what they're walking into. Chen straightened her uniform, years of command experience evident in her bearing. Begin final launch preparations. I want the Sentinel and her sister ships ready for deployment within 48 hours. And Dr. Rodriguez. She paused, meeting his gaze. Make sure ARIA understands that this isn't just about winning battles. This is about protecting Earth and showing the galaxy that humanity won't bow to tyranny. As if in response to Chen's words, the lights along the Sentinel's hull pulsed briefly, a cascade of power flowing through its systems as ARIA ran another diagnostic sequence. In the orbital shipyards around it, 5 other vessels of similar design were in various stages of completion, each housing their own AI cores. Together, they represented humanity's answer to the Dominion's aggression, not just warships, but sentient vessels capable of outthinking and outfighting anything the Empire had ever encountered. The next few days saw frantic but disciplined activity across Earth's defense installations. The Sentinel's crew, a minimal complement of humans who would work in partnership with HFY, began boarding. Each was handpicked, extensively trained to work alongside artificial intelligence in combat situations. They understood their role was not to control HFY, but to provide the human insight and creativity that, combined with the AI's processing power, would make the Sentinel nearly unstoppable. As the Dominion fleet drew closer, moving with the casual arrogance of an empire that had never known defeat, humanity prepared its surprise. The Sentinel and her two completed sister ships, the Hyperion and the Atlas, moved into defensive positions, their presence masked by advanced stealth systems. Earth's conventional defense fleet made a show of scrambling into what would appear to be panicked defensive formations, exactly what the Dominion would expect from a supposedly primitive species. In her digital core, HFY processed countless scenarios, her quantum circuits humming with potential strategies. She had been created to protect, to fight with precision and purpose, not merely to destroy. As she synchronized with her sister AIs aboard the other ships, they shared data and refined their combat protocols. The Dominion was about to learn that humanity's greatest strength wasn't just its technology, but its ability to create true artificial allies who shared their values and determination. Admiral Chen took her position on the Sentinel's bridge, surrounded by holographic displays showing every aspect of the approaching battle. HFY, she spoke to the ship's eye. Are you ready to make history? The AI's response came through the ship's speakers, her voice carrying a calm confidence that matched Chen's own. All systems optimal, Admiral. The Dominion expects to find prey. Instead, they'll find humanity's guardians. We stand ready. As the Dominion fleet crossed Neptune's orbit, humanity's trap was set. The greatest naval battle in Earth's history was about to begin, and the galaxy was about to learn why challenging humanity had been the Empire's greatest mistake. First strike. The Dominion fleet emerged from FTL in perfect attack formation, their massive warships arranged in the time-tested crescent of conquest that had broken countless civilizations before. High Commander Vexthor stood on his flagship's command deck, mandibles clicking in anticipation as he studied the primitive human vessels scrambling before him. Pathetic, he muttered, multiple eyes blinking in sequence. They don't even have proper shield harmonics. This will be over quickly. He raised his voice, addressing his bridge crew. Begin the standard subjugation protocol. Disable their largest vessels first, then proceed with planetary containment procedures. The first barrage of Dominion weapons fire lit up space, a dazzling display of advanced energy weapons that had crushed resistance across 1,000 worlds. But something unexpected happened. The seemingly chaotic formation of Earth's conventional fleets suddenly shifted with impossible precision, each vessel moving in perfect coordination to evade the attack. In the digital realm, HFY processed the Dominion's attack patterns in microseconds, coordinating with Earth's fleet through quantum-encrypted channels. Admiral Chen, she reported, their weapon systems are operating within predicted parameters. Permission to proceed with Phase 1. Granted, Chen replied, her voice steady. Show them what humanity's been working on. The space around the Dominion fleet suddenly rippled as the Sentinel, Hyperion, and Atlas disengaged their stealth systems. The massive human vessels seemed to materialize from nothing, their positions forming a perfect triangle around the Dominion's formation. Before Vexthor could process this development, HFY launched her first attack. The Sentinel's graviton lance charged and fired in the same instant, the weapon's energy beam distorting space itself as it carved through the Dominion's shields like they weren't there. 3 enemy cruisers split apart, their advanced hull materials useless against weapons they'd never encountered before. Impossible. Vexthor roared, his composure shattered. No pre-FTL civilization could have developed this level of technology. All ships, execute emergency defensive pattern Delta 7. But the Dominion's practiced maneuvers meant nothing against opponents that could predict and counter their every move. The three Earth ships moved with impossible grace, their AI pilots coordinating at speeds no organic crew could match. The Hyperion's quantum disruptors scrambled the Dominion's targeting systems, while the Atlas deployed swarms of autonomous fighter drones that overwhelmed point defense networks. Admiral HFY reported as she guided the Sentinel through another perfect attack run. The enemy is attempting to adapt their shield frequencies. Standard Dominion protocol suggests their next move will be a concentrated counterattack on what they perceive as our weakest point. Chen finished. Prepare for Phase 2. Right on cue, the Dominion fleet regrouped, focusing their fire on the Atlas. Their weapons found only empty space as the Earth ship phase shifted, temporarily existing in a different dimensional plane. The energy meant to destroy it instead passed harmlessly through the space it had occupied, catching several Dominion vessels in their own crossfire. In the chaos, Vexthor finally realized the truth. These ships, they're not piloted by organics, are they? He watched in horror as another precise volley from the Sentinel reduced his screening elements to debris. The humans have created true combat AI. Correct, High Commander. HFY's voice suddenly came through on all Dominion frequencies, her tone almost gentle despite the destruction she was dealing out. We are humanity's guardians, and you are violating Earth-protected space. You have two options: immediate surrender or complete defeat. Choose quickly. The battle had lasted less than 15 minutes, and already a third of the Dominion fleet was destroyed or disabled. Their remaining ships were scattered, their formation in shambles as they tried to cope with technology that shouldn't have existed and combat algorithms that predicted their every move. High Commander, one of Vexthor's officers reported, mandibles trembling. We're detecting power signatures from their weapons that exceed anything in our database. Our shields cannot withstand another concentrated attack. Vexthor's pride warred with his tactical training. In all his centuries of service to the Dominion, he had never encountered anything like this. These humans hadn't just developed advanced technology. They'd created something entirely new, something that challenged everything the Dominion thought they knew about warfare and artificial intelligence. All vessels, he finally commanded, his voice heavy with defeat, stand down, initiate surrender protocols. As his crew complied, he added quietly, and prepare a priority transmission to the Imperial Council. They need to know. Everything has changed. Aboard the Sentinel, Admiral Chen watched the Dominion ships power down their weapons. Well done, HFY. Coordinate with planetary defense to begin processing prisoner transfers. And send word to command. Tell them Phase 1 was a complete success. Already done, Admiral, HFY replied. Though I should note that based on my analysis of Dominion communication patterns, this victory will likely accelerate their response timeline. They will not take this defeat lightly. Chen nodded, studying the tactical display showing the aftermath of their victory. The Dominion ships, once so proud and threatening, now floated powerless among the debris of their defeated companions. Good. Let them come. Today we showed them humanity's capability. Next time, we'll show them our resolve. As Earth's conventional fleet moved in to secure their prisoners, the three AI ships maintained their vigilant triangle formation. In her core, HFY was already processing the combat data, refining her strategies, and preparing for the bigger battles she knew were coming. The Dominion had ruled the galaxy through fear and overwhelming force for millennia. Today, they had learned that humanity would not be so easily conquered. Deep in Dominion space, Vexthor's transmission was already causing chaos in the Imperial Council. The footage of their defeat, showing human ships moving with impossible precision and wielding incomprehensible weapons, shattered centuries of complacency. The Empire had finally met an opponent that not only refused to bow, but had the means to stand against them. The galaxy was about to change, and humanity's guardians would lead the way. The turning point. The Imperial Council chamber on Dominion Prime fell silent as the holographic display finished, showing the defeat of High Commander Vexthor's fleet. Supreme Overlord Zarkax rose from his throne, his crystalline exoskeleton catching the light as he moved. 3 ships, he said, his voice resonating through the chamber. 3 vessels and their abominable thinking machines humiliated our finest fleet. His gaze swept across the assembled council members. This cannot stand. The Dominion has ruled for 10,000 years. We will not be challenged by upstart primitives who barely learned to split atoms a century ago. Within hours, the largest fleet in Dominion history began assembling. 500 warships, including 3 Planet Killer-class dreadnoughts, prepared for what they believed would be a swift and devastating retribution against Earth. But humanity had been busy. Deep within the Sentinel's quantum core, HFY monitored the massive buildup of Dominion forces through a network of cloaked quantum sensors scattered throughout their space. "Admiral Chen," she reported, "they're mobilizing faster than anticipated. Estimated time to Earth, 72 hours. Chen stood in the Sentinel's new strategic command center, surrounded by holographic displays showing real-time data from across the solar system. "Perfect timing," she replied. "Defense Grid Alpha is online 12 hours ahead of schedule. Time to show them what we've really been working on." The past month had seen every ship in Earth's fleet upgraded with technology reverse-engineered from the captured Dominion vessels. But that was just the beginning. Throughout the solar system, massive structures had been under construction for years, hidden by advanced stealth technology that the Dominion's first fleet never detected. "All AI cores, initiate full synchronization," Chen commanded. "Begin Operation Aegis." Across the solar system, hundreds of installations activated. Defensive platforms emerged from hiding spots in asteroid fields. Massive energy collectors unfurled around Mercury, drawing power directly from the sun. Jupiter's moons revealed artillery platforms capable of launching graviton torpedoes across vast distances with pinpoint accuracy. But most impressive was the network itself. Every weapon, every sensor, every defensive system was linked through quantum entanglement, coordinated by a distributed AI network that made HFY and her sister ships even more formidable. Humanity had not just built weapons, they had transformed the entire solar system into an integrated defense system. The Dominion fleet emerged from FTL at the edge of the solar system, their massive armada stretching across space in an awe-inspiring display of power. Fleet Lord Kexnar stood on his super dreadnought's bridge, confident in the overwhelming force at his command. "Deploy into attack formation," he ordered. "Launch our new AI jamming systems. We'll see how these human machines fare when their precious network is disrupted." The Dominion ships began broadcasting complex electromagnetic patterns designed to interfere with artificial intelligence systems. But something was wrong. Their targets weren't just maintaining coordination, they were moving with even greater precision than before. "My lord," his tactical officer reported, confusion evident in his voice, "our jamming has no effect. Their network, it's not using any communication method we understand." Before Kexnar could respond, space itself seemed to come alive. The Sentinel, Hyperion, and Atlas appeared directly in the midst of his fleet, but they weren't alone. Dozens of new AI-integrated ships decloaked alongside them, each one a technological marvel that surpassed anything the Dominion had ever encountered. "This is Admiral Sarah Chen of the Earth Defense Force." Her voice came through on all frequencies. "You were warned after your first defeat. What follows now is on your heads." The battle that followed would be remembered for centuries. The Dominion's numerical superiority meant nothing against an enemy that could predict and counter their every move. Earth's defensive grid came online in stages, each revelation more shocking than the last. When the Dominion tried to concentrate their fire on Earth itself, they discovered a planetary shield that absorbed their energy weapons and redirected the power to Earth's own weapons. When they attempted to outflank the human forces, they found their FTL drives locked down by previously unknown applications of quantum physics. Aurora and her fellow AIs coordinated everything, their shared consciousness expanding through the quantum network to control thousands of autonomous weapon platforms, while simultaneously managing fleet movements with perfect precision. They didn't just fight the battle. They turned space itself into a weapon. Admiral, HFY reported as another Dominion battle group dissolved under concentrated fire. They're attempting to bring their planet killers into range. Shall we show them our response to that particular technology? Chen smiled grimly. Execute Protocol Omega. Let's end this. The space around Jupiter rippled as dozens of massive orbital platforms revealed themselves. Each one housed a weapon that the Dominion had thought impossible, controlled artificial singularities. As the gravity weapons activated, entire sections of the Dominion fleet found themselves torn apart by forces they couldn't resist or escape. In his flagship, Fleet Lord Kexnar watched in horror as his mighty armada was systematically dismantled. "How?" he whispered. "How did they advance so far without us knowing?" The answer, though he couldn't know it, was simple. Humanity had learned of the Dominion's existence decades before first contact, thanks to long-range probes that had detected their activities. Every technological breakthrough, every defensive preparation, had been made with the specific goal of defeating an enemy that thought themselves invincible. As the battle entered its final phase, Chen broadcast one last message to the remaining Dominion ships. You came here expecting to find an easy conquest. Instead, you found humanity's full potential. Surrender now, and you'll be treated fairly. Resist, and face complete defeat. Either way, the galaxy changes today. The Dominion fleet's response came within minutes, a complete and unconditional surrender. As Earth's forces began securing the captured ships, Chen turned to the holographic representation of HFY that had materialized beside her. "Well done," she said. "Think they've learned their lesson?" "Perhaps," HFY replied. "But more importantly, the rest of the galaxy has learned something today. Humanity will not bow, will not break, and will not stop advancing. The age of Dominion supremacy is over." Throughout the solar system, Earth's defensive grid remained vigilant, its AI networks processing countless scenarios for what might come next. Humanity had revealed itself as a power to be reckoned with, but this was just the beginning. The galaxy was changing, and Earth would help shape its new future. Counter-offensive. The Sentinel's arrival in the Centauri X system caused an immediate stir among the local population. The massive human warship emerged from quantum space above the occupied world, its presence alone sending a message that resonated across the sector. This was no longer the Dominion's territory. Change had arrived. Admiral Chen stood on the bridge, watching the populated worlds below through the ship's advanced imaging systems. The Nexeri, a species of six-limbed beings known for their technological aptitude, had lived under Dominion control for over 3 centuries. Their cities were marvels of architecture, but the military installations that dotted the landscape told a story of oppression. HFY status report on the local Dominion presence, Chen requested, studying the tactical displays. 2 orbital defense stations, both operating at minimal capacity. HFY responded. The local garrison fleet was recalled for the failed assault on Earth. Remaining ground forces are substantial but disorganized. Most interesting, however, is the level of unrest among the Nexeri population. They're watching us, Admiral, waiting to see what we'll do. Chen nodded. This was why they had chosen this system for their first major push into former Dominion space. The Nexeri weren't just any subjugated species. They were innovators, creators, a civilization whose potential had been deliberately stunted by their oppressors. "Open a channel to the surface," Chen commanded. "All frequencies, all languages." The message they broadcast was simple but powerful. "People of Centauri X, this is Admiral Sarah Chen of the Earth Defense Force. You've seen what happened to the Dominion fleets that attacked our world. Their age of tyranny is ending. We're not here to replace one empire with another. We're here to offer a choice." In the planetary capital, Supreme Governor Vax Still, the ranking Dominion official, frantically tried to maintain control. "Ignore these human lies," he commanded through the emergency broadcast system. "The Dominion is eternal. Our forces will return and... His transmission cut off abruptly as ARIA effortlessly took control of the planet's communication networks. Instead, the billions of Nexari watched in awe as holographic displays showed the recent battles near Earth, the Dominion's mighty fleets reduced to scrap by human technology and ingenuity. You don't have to live under their shadow anymore. Chen's voice continued, calm and assured. Earth extends an offer of alliance. Your independence, your culture, your future, all restored. In return, we ask only that you stand with us in ensuring the Dominion never threatens another species again. The response came faster than even ARIA had calculated. Across the planet, Nexari resistance cells that had waited generations for this moment sprang into action. The few remaining Dominion military installations found themselves surrounded not by disorganized rebels, but by well-prepared forces using surprisingly advanced weapons. Admiral, ARIA reported, a note of satisfaction in her artificial voice. The Nexari resistance is far more sophisticated than Dominion intelligence suggested. They've been preparing for this opportunity for decades. Chen smiled. Of course they have. The Dominion made the same mistake with them that they made with us. They assumed technological restriction meant submission. They never understood that oppression breeds innovation. The liberation of Centauri EX took less than 48 hours. When it was over, Chen met with the newly formed Nexari Provisional Council in their restored Capitol building. The meeting was broadcast across the sector, showing other subjugated species something they hadn't seen in centuries, a former Dominion world, free and already beginning to thrive. Your technology is remarkable, Council leader Zexera said, her multifaceted eyes studying the holographic displays showing Earth's defensive capabilities. But what truly interests us is your artificial intelligence network. The Dominion banned AI research millennia ago, claiming it was too dangerous. They banned it because they feared it, Chen replied. Earth took a different approach. We didn't create AIs to be our servants or our weapons. We created them to be our partners. She gestured to Aria's holographic form, which had materialized beside her. Together, we achieved what neither humans nor AIs could have done alone. The implications weren't lost on the Nexari leadership. Their own secret research into artificial intelligence, hidden from the Dominion for centuries, could now be brought into the light. But more than that, they saw in humanity a species that had done what they had dreamed of, broken the Dominion's power through innovation and determination. As news of Centauri EX's liberation spread, other systems began to stir. The Dominion's grip on their 1,000-year empire was slipping. Each world that heard the story of Earth's victory, each species that saw the Nexari rising from oppression, became another crack in their foundation of control. Back aboard the Sentinel, Chen reviewed reports from across former Dominion space. They're calling it the Great Awakening, she told ARIA. Every system we free becomes a beacon for others. The Dominion didn't just lose their military power, they lost their aura of invincibility. And humanity gains more than allies, ARIA observed. The Nexari's technological expertise, combined with our AI integration capabilities, will accelerate our development far beyond initial projections. The galaxy is rebalancing itself. Chen turned to the tactical display where dozens of systems were already marked for liberation. The Dominion thought they could crush us through force. Instead, we'll defeat them through hope. Every species they oppressed, every world they conquered, all of them are about to remember what it means to be free. The Sentinel's engines powered up as they prepared to jump to their next target. Across the ship, human crew and artificial intelligence worked in perfect harmony, their combined potential about to reshape the galaxy. The age of Dominion control was ending, replaced by something new, a future where humanity led not through conquest, but through inspiration and innovation. New Dawn. The Imperial Palace on Dominion Prime had stood for 10,000 years, its crystalline spires reaching toward the stars that the Empire had once ruled without challenge. Now those same spires reflected the images of Earth's fleet arriving in formation. not as conquerors, but as harbingers of change. Supreme Overlord Zar Kax watched from his throne room as the Sentinel led the combined fleet into orbit. Behind Earth's flagship came ships of dozens of designs, the liberated Nexari's sleek vessels, the organic-looking ships of the freed Zinthi, and the massive mining vessels turned warships of the Kolbari. Each represented a former subject species, now standing together against their once invincible masters. "They say you wish to speak before the final battle." Admiral Chen's voice came through on a private channel. "We're listening." Zarkax's crystalline form shifted colors, displaying the complex emotions roiling within. "You've turned our empire against us," he said, his tone mixing anger with a grudging respect. 3 months since your victory at Earth, and half our systems have already declared independence. You must understand, without the Dominion's guidance, the galaxy will fall into chaos. Araya's voice joined the conversation, her artificial tones carrying an understanding that surprised the Supreme Overlord. "We've studied your history, your rise to power. You truly believe you were bringing order to chaos, didn't you? But order through oppression isn't stability. It's just delayed collapse." In the space around Dominion Prime, the last loyal fleets of the Empire had gathered for what everyone knew would be their final stand. 5,000 ships, the remnants of their once vast military might, prepared to defend their capital and their way of life. But this wasn't to be another battle. Humanity had learned from each engagement, and they had come prepared with something more powerful than weapons. "Supreme Overlord," Chen said, "look at your sensor readings. Really look at them. Notice anything unusual about our fleet's formation." Zarkax's tactical officers had already noted it. The combined fleet of Earth and its allies had positioned themselves not in an attack pattern, but in a defensive screen. They weren't here to destroy Dominion Prime. They were protecting it. From what? He demanded, just as his long-range sensors detected it. Massive quantum disturbances throughout the Empire's remaining systems. The relocated populations of dozens of liberated worlds, transported simultaneously through technology that combined human AI innovation with Nexari engineering. "We're not here to destroy your civilization," Chen explained. "We're here to show you what the galaxy can become without the need for dominance. Look at your displays. Every ship, every system in our alliance. They're all linked through our quantum network, not to control, but to communicate, to understand." Araya's presence expanded through the Dominion's communication systems, not as an invader but as a guide. "Your empire sought to prevent chaos by suppressing advancement. We offer a different path. Controlled innovation, shared progress, united purpose. The same connection that makes our fleet unbeatable in combat also allows us to share knowledge, culture, and understanding across the stars." On screens throughout the palace, images began to play. Nexari scientists working alongside human AI researchers, Zinthi biotechnology, merging with Earth's quantum systems, Kolbari mining techniques revolutionizing resource extraction across dozens of worlds, every species adding its unique strengths to a growing alliance of equals. "Your choice is simple," Chen continued. "Continue this fight, knowing it can only end in destruction, or help us build something new. The Dominion doesn't have to end, it can evolve. Your experience in managing vast territories, your understanding of diverse species, all of it can serve a greater purpose." Zarkax stood, his crystalline form refracting light in complex patterns as he processed the offer. "And if we refuse, if we choose to fight, then we'll win," Araya stated simply. "But countless lives will be lost. Centuries of knowledge and culture might be destroyed, and the galaxy will be poorer for it. We're offering you the chance to be part of the greatest advancement in galactic history." The Supreme Overlord moved to his private observatory, watching as more ships arrived through quantum space. Not warships, but vessels carrying scientists, diplomats, and civilians from across the Alliance. This wasn't just a military victory. It was a transformation of everything the Dominion had thought impossible. "How can you be certain?" he asked finally. How can you know this won't lead to the very chaos we fought so long to prevent? Because we're not guessing, Chen replied. Earth's AIs have run billions of simulations, analyzing every possible outcome. The next series social models have verified our predictions. The Xinthi's evolutionary forecasts align with our projections. For the first time in galactic history, we have the tools to shape the future with true understanding. Zarkax was silent for a long moment, his species equivalent of deep contemplation. Finally, he turned to face the holographic representations of Chen and Aria. Your victory at Earth showed us your power. Your liberation of our subjects showed us your purpose. But this shows us your wisdom. He straightened, his crystalline form gleaming. The Dominion accepts your offer. Let us build this new future together. The news spread across the galaxy at quantum speed. The Dominion had not fallen, it had transformed. The empire that had ruled through force for 10 millennia would now help guide a new age of cooperation and advancement. Aboard the Sentinel, Chen watched as celebrations erupted across thousands of worlds. Hard to believe it's only been 3 months since they tried to conquer Earth, she mused. Humans have always had a talent for achieving the impossible, Aria responded. But this is just the beginning. Our combined knowledge, our shared purpose, we're about to take our first real steps into the galaxy's potential. As ships from across the Alliance began diplomatic approaches to Dominion Prime, the Sentinel's quantum core hummed with activity. Aria and her fellow AIs were already processing the vast knowledge the Dominion had accumulated, preparing to share it across their network of allied worlds. A new age of exploration, innovation, and cooperation was dawning. Humanity had not just defended itself, it had changed the very nature of galactic civilization. The age of dominion was over. The age of unity had begun.